about the technical summer beginning date, but anyhow, with school out, it feels like summer. We are well into a change process designed to allow us to live in new mental mindsets by the focus, concentration, and intention of thoughts, which are created and sustained by the amazing neural network of the brain that we have spoken much about earlier. We're calling it SHIFT, and it's based on the intersection of science, research, and God's truth. God has created our minds and given us His truth, plus the Holy Spirit to lead and empower us so that we can strategically shape who we are, essentially doing our own brain surgery, so to speak. This occurs by stewarding our mind, which leads us to the last letter of SHIFT, T, to think it. Remember, our core guide for us has been Romans 12:2, to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. This implies we have to know what's going on in our minds to determine renewal is necessary. The how of T is captured well in 2 Corinthians 10:5, to take every thought captive to make it obedient to Christ. The T of SHIFT is exactly that. Capture your thoughts. Get hold of what you're thinking. So this work is to stop and think, what am I thinking about? Or what have I thought about most of the day? Or what's going on in the background of my mind as I'm doing this task or at work? The point is to think about what you've been thinking about. So turn off the music or background noise for a bit. For sure, put down that dang phone. Drive to work and back home in silence, being mindful of the content of your thoughts. Speaking of mindful, perhaps you have heard of mindfulness, as lots of folks are talking about it today. Most directly, it means the quality or state of being conscious or aware of something. The outworking of that, then, is that we become aware of our minds, our bodies, our senses in ways that we do not otherwise, unless we stop and take account and get back in our brain and body, in a manner of speaking. This is paying attention, the opposite of being on automatic pilot, as we so often are. Automatic pilot is less tiring than to think through and be aware of thoughts and consequent actions. But this automatic way of being can be to our advantage, as in easily riding a bike, whipping up a loved recipe, or singing favorite song lyrics. But living on automatic pilot also means we can miss beautiful moments and soul-fueling interactions and experiences. But most of all, it keeps us from being able to create new neural pathways. The bottom line is we can't change if we're on automatic pilot. But 5 to 6 minutes a day of on-purpose meditative capturing of thoughts shifts frontal brain states. So when you make the mature and wise choice to stop, to think about what you're thinking about, when you catch it, it is time to replace it with a new thought, on purpose. Literally, just like you're discarding the other thought and choosing the new one. I had to do that just yesterday after I realized I was internally and upset, obviously struggling with something. I stopped, asked the Lord to help me know what it was, then identified the thought and was sad about it for a bit. Then I changed my thought to the new one that I wanted to think about in this situation, based in truth and reality. So when my feelings didn't change, they still haven't yet, honestly, I'm solidly in that new reality. I know it's true, even if I'm not feeling it yet. This is the point of T, to think it. So 1, stop and recognize what you're thinking. 2, identify the old thought. 3, feel whatever it is bringing forward. Then 4, actively discard it. And 5, replace it with a new thought. This means literally thinking it. Feelings are not a barometer here. If they change and you feel good, great, but do not expect that to happen. Just keep choosing to think it, taking it with you into your day, into your next situation, into your next conversation, into your downtime. Thinking it is to carry an intentional thought along with you. It reminds me of the psalmist's intentional effort in Psalm 119, 15 and 16. I will meditate on your precepts and fix my eyes on your ways. I will delight in your statutes. I will not forget your word. Think on it, super shifters. Let's go.